My name is Sissy.
I'm Anna, and together we are
Hinds, and we are in Amoeba.
Es que es Amoeba. We are at Amoeba Music, and this is what's in my bag. I'm gonna go with this first one, which is Ratatat.
Bien.
We met them in
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yeah. We're playing a festival,
Yeah.
and we saw them play live, and I remember being absolutely mind blown. Like, what the hell? You can do guitar music and then sound sort of like electronic or like sound more modern. And I remember now it looks, it's a very childish thought, but you know, like back then I was like absolutely mind blown that they were mixing that kind of music. And then we also got to hang with them. They were super nice. And after, maybe because they met us, they stopped the band. I mean, they stopped playing. Yeah, which is annoying because we talked with Mike for a while. Like, and for this last album that we're about to release in September, the guitars, like, we wrote Boom Boom Back, which is a song that's already out, and it's with Beck. And the guitars, we use a pedal called Synth 9, and it makes guitar sound like synths, and it's like a very cool mix because you don't really know, like, you're like, is it a guitar, is it a synth? And we kind of decided, like, maybe the guitars can go like in this world of Ratatat and stuff, which I'm not sure if we achieved, but at least that was the goal.
In Gregorian stuff, we have some,
glitches.
Glitches of guitars. Yes.
In the first song of the new album, you will hear the reference.
My dad loves musicals. I have to say.
Unlike me.
Yeah, exactly. She hates musicals.
I hate musicals so much.
Claro,
You can tell me why
it's a movie that didn't do very well back in the past. You know, these guys are from a planet called Transylvania, and they're like aliens, and they have like this huge castle where they do a party because they build a creature called Rocky. I don't know exactly how it started because it's from the 70s and I wasn't there, but at some point people started to have a tradition of screaming things and insulting the characters. Like, Susan Sarandon is in here and you will scream, puta, and
Vale.
and to the other guy, like whatever, you start like to scream things and to throw rice when they have a wedding and things like that.
Damn it! I knew I should have gotten that spare tire fixed. Well, you just stay here and keep warm, and I'll go for help.
Where will you go? We're in the middle of nowhere.
It's kind of cool because it have stayed during the years until actually right now. There's a show in Madrid that still happens. I don't know if it happens in here.
Doesn't your dad or someone
Claro,
do the show every
it.
week?
My dad
no?
has dressed up as Frankfurter a lot of times. I think to me the moral of the story is that you can do art and it's very difficult to choose how it's gonna land in people and in the audience. So even if you have like a purpose and you do this whole movie probably in a serious way, people just take it as a joke and you cannot choose how people is gonna react or how are they going to receive it. So I think it's very humbling also for the artist, like, oh, you can do whatever you want, and then the art belongs to the people and they will think whatever they want and they will do whatever they want with it. And that's it. And I think the soundtrack is actually really cool.
The sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
But I'm gonna do this one, which is a fast one, Little Joy.
Even though we have to say goodbye, keep me in mind, keep me in mind.
I believe they're only their first and last album. I think it's just one of those albums that I can play from beginning to end, and at any time and years pass and I still really love it, which is something I sometimes struggle to find music that I love and I can obsess over, and this is one of those records. And I also think it's quite cool that it's like the side project of 3 people, because usually I think side projects are maybe not very good, or just like very experimental. Like people, you know, like you have your main project and then you go to do your side project. Like I can be weird and interesting, and
which makes sense.
It makes sense because you know you're like especially like you're mainstream, you're huge. So now I'm gonna be weird and on purpose, and no one's gonna get it because I had such a troubled mind. And I love that this is the opposite. Like I probably believe like this more than any of the actual projects that they all have.
With the right steps, she would try her chances somewhere else.
Courtney Barnett, big hero of us.
If I don't hear from you tonight, if I don't hear from you tonight.
You know, sometimes we are a little bit behind in music, like
Super behind, super slow.
We're very slow. It was released, look, in 2021. We started listening to it in 2023. No? Yeah, in 2023. One of the top artists, you know, at the end of the year, when it's New Year's Eve, that you get the resume of what you've been listening to.
Both of ours,
yes.
top listened artists.
Yes.
Courtney, yeah.
We're very big fans of Bob Dylan and all the. There's a delivery in her lyrics and her way of expressing stuff that she has like a lot of kindness, and I like whenever you're hearing something, I like to think like them, and I feel like a tiny bit a better person when I'm listening to Courtney Barnett. She actually has been a big influence for us for this last album also.
Tuesday night, I'm checking in just to see how you're going.
Also, for the song "Coffee," we struggled a lot. It's a single of our new album too. We struggled kind of a lot. Like we didn't know, it sounded too poppy. We didn't really know. It was like we knew there was something good there, but we didn't really know how to finish it. And it was because of her that we're like, okay, let's try those like laid back guitars. Like don't really care. And even like I remember Pete Robertson, who produced the album. When we made him a playlist like of all of the songs and sounds that we were liking, and he was like, try to play like Courtney, you know, and he made you like literally like you were recording leaning back, and I think you can hear it in those guitars.
With those eyes, just don't look at me with those eyes.
She's the best.
I'm walking around with my head down.
Oh yeah, very good one again. King Gizzard and the Wizard Lisa. So this is it's just 4 songs, and they're each 10 minutes and 10 seconds, which is why they're called quarters, because each song is a quarter of the vinyl. And
Math.
girl math. And when you open it, each side is the cover. Like it's actually very cool art. And there's one song that's called Love is in the Rhythm, which is my favorite solo in the whole world ever. We've always been big on solos because it's like a very big international way of expressing emotion, even if you're not very good at other languages. And yeah, King Gizzard. Also, I'm sorry, I know they have released like 1,000 records since, but I have a day job and I don't have time to keep up with them.
Don't you think it's probably the most prolific band in the rock scene?
Insane. I don't understand
insane.
it. There are a lot of people, they can divide the work now, like you and me. Maybe that's it. Maybe we just need to hire 4 more people. But they're really cool. Obviously, they're amazing live and they're a cool band. So, God is in the rhythm.
Okay, so Raymond Scott. So I saw this documentary, Sisters with Transistors,
That I still haven't seen. Yeah,
which is a documentary about women who studied electronic music. Very back in the day, with the computers and stuff, and how weird it was for people hearing something that doesn't come from an instrument, that comes from a computer, and it was even like a little bit diabolic, like, what the hell is this? This cannot be music. I cannot believe this.
This is the story of women who hear music in their heads, of radical sounds.
So, just buceando la web,
surfing the internet.
I ended up finding this guy, Raymond Scott, and he has a compilation One of my favorite songs was the Portofino 1 and the Portofino 2. The compilation was called Manhattan Research. And it's a very crazy album that has a lot of jingles and a lot of... It's like a collage of music and sayings and beep beep beeps and blah, 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 like onomatopeyas. And when I was driving on my own to Portugal, so it takes like 7 hours from Madrid, and I played this album, and I couldn't change, and I didn't want to change it, and I didn't change it because I was on my own in the stupid car.
Daniel Johnston has been one of the biggest influences for this album, especially for the beginning of the process of this album.
There'll be no more pushing Joe around, no more pushing Joe around. There'll be no more pushing Joe around. He's up and punching now.
We've been through hell these last couple of years since the pandemic. We've been very unlucky. A lot of things have happened to us. A lot of problems and obstacles to crawl or jump over. And I think like it's not in this album, but the song "The Story of an Artist" really shook us when we're very late because this is definitely not new music.
Listen up and I'll tell a story about an artist growing old.
She was in the bus and she sent it to me when I was walking my dog, and we both like nearly started crying.
In different parts of Madrid, crying at the same time.
Try to remember, but my feelings can't know for sure. Try to reach out.
Okay, then I'm gonna go for something that I think is not gonna
land very well.
Not gonna land very well on you neither. Emahoy, Tsegué-Mariam, Guèbru.
Ah, sí.
This album in particular, I was looking for the Ethiopics. This is a Ethiopian piano player and singer. And there's a compilation that is called Ethiopics number 21 that the other day I said it to a person and he said, oh yeah, I know. And then I thought, oh my God, I thought I knew some secrets, but I haven't. Everybody knows everything nowadays. And it's also because when we work in the mornings, we play some background music in our houses. We don't have like an office or something, it's a house. And when we're working in the computer, we play some nice, amazing piano music.
Sometimes I like silence, but it's true that you hate silence. No, you don't hate it. But you always
music.
have...
I choose music over silence.
I've never told
I don't
you
even
this.
do podcasts and stuff.
I haven't told you, when you come home, because half of the times is at her house, literally like half the week is at hers and half is at mine. And when she's coming up, I'm always like in the morning, usually in silence. So when she rings the bell, I'm like, oh, fuck, she's coming. So I quickly go on Spotify and I put like, as if we didn't know each other, and I had to impress her. Like, no, yeah, sure, I was just having a coffee with music in the back. And my last one is going to be this, Tranny by Laura Jane Grace, which is an American trans punk artist and writer.
It captures a lot of what the book is about, and a lot of what the book is about internalized transphobia and self-hate, and that's an experience that I had and I went through.
And I found it very, very interesting. Obviously, with all of the things with like gender and all of that, it can be hard if you don't have someone close to you to understand, like, because it's a very complicated thing to go through. And I found that books is kind of like the best way of really understanding. And I absolutely, it's insane, her story and how like she was like in the hotel. Like I read a lot of biographies.
She reads them all, not
Sí.
a lot. She reads all
biographies.
of them. You can ask for
Mainly
any...
of women, to be fair.
Bueno,
Don't
all
ask
of the
me.
women. She probably knows your life too.
I'm a stalker, really. I read all of the ones that I can get my hands off, but this one especially having like, because obviously relating to all of the music side is huge, but then also getting to know how it is like to be like on a boy band and then being trans, and like how she said that she would go to her hotel and like sort of dress. I don't know. I'm not gonna quote it because it's very, 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 very interesting.
I woke up to find my mugshot plastered all over the front pages of music websites, along with my arrest report for battery. Hair, brown. Identifying marks, tattoos all over. Sex, male. There were 2 messages waiting for me, one from my manager with a list of legal defense options, and the other from the boss, Bruce Springsteen himself.
Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you in today.
Thank you.